And we're live. Let me make sure that I have made this possible for all of our viewers. How are you doing tonight?
I'm here.
You're
I'm
here.
alive, which is good.
I mean, actually, that's amazing. Like
I think so.
that, I think being alive is an amazing thing. I mean, it's not something that you necessarily want to take for granted. It's
Yeah,
not.
you absolutely do not want to take that for granted. I'm here checking your thing now. You've got me into the habit of checking your thing now to see if you're live.
I'm live, but I wasn't public. And so I'm public now. That's the hope. Yeah, there I am.
Okay.
So, Um, I don't know why that's the default, private just to me, but hey, we roll with it.
Man, if
So,
that's the case, it's basically the only thing that you have private going on social media. This, of course, is
uh,
just an observation on my part.
there's been a lot happening in my hot gal life this week.
Okay, do tell.
Well, actually, and it does tie into, I mean, it does actually tie into our podcast about frames. So I will tell you about my interesting news. This week, a couple of days ago, it's a long story. So anyway, an old flame of mine returned a picture. You know, back in the day, you used to give actually hard copy pictures to guys that you liked.
Hmm.
So a guy that I liked returned a photograph that I gave him back to me digitally, if that makes sense.
He
And
emailed
so
you a picture that you had given him
he
back
emailed
in
it
the
to
day.
a friend. He emailed it to a friend who emailed it to me. And it was a picture of myself back in the day, in a hot gal bikini. And you know what? I rock the bikinis like whatever age or stage I am. So this picture was kind of looking kind of vintagey. It's the first time I realized that you look at a picture like that and it's yellowed and it's not clear and it's blurry because we don't have digital photography. We had like the kind of film that you had to take to get processed at Wilco. And so that picture looked like that. So I uploaded it to this group. um, it was a photo restoration group, and I asked them to clear up the picture and maybe possibly take me out of Tanti's, since we're talking about aunties tonight, take me out of Tanti's living room because that's where the picture originated, in our Tanti's living room. And what they were able to do with technology, AI, and cleaning up the picture was totally fascinating. I mean, they had me in on a beach, they had me on boardwalks, they had me in sunsets. They had me at waterfalls. They had me on Victoria's Secret runways.
That
So
I
that
did
was,
not see. I needed
oh
to see
yeah,
that one. I need to catch up
oh
with
yeah.
that post.
I'm on literally on a Victoria's Secret runway. So that was fun and funny, and it was all happening in the group. And then for some reason, the picture ended up on a few Instagram sites like the Melanin Shade Room, um, Being Black is Lit, another, and Our Culture, because people were just talking about how fascinating that whole thing was. Suffice it to say, like, I mean, I'm a basically boring person, but my views, okay, okay, not that boring,
Okay.
but boring for what was happening with me. But I was taking it all in stride, because I figure there's no way that you could put that hot gal with this hot gal and find anything out. Like, I'm just me. Anyway, my views for that picture or whatever happened went from like basically me getting like 1,000 views a day on my things, engagements, stuff like that, to 6.2 million reach and 2.2 million in engagement.
Wow, you gone viral.
I've gone viral being a hot gal of all things. And for my little old lady heart, that was really kind of fascinating. And in that picture, I am wearing a nice pair of tinted glasses.
I wish
And
we could see the picture.
oh, I, yeah, I'll work on that
Hmm.
while we're talking. And I think I can do that. I think I can oblige you. But I'm wearing a pair of glasses, and I remember clearly that at that time, I was wearing contacts, and I was able to, for the first time in my entire life, put wear them with shades. So I actually had a pair of really nice shades, and so that was pretty exciting. So yeah, that was my week, and I'm going to make sure that I upload that here. I think I can do it. I'm not quite sure always how, but let's do this. So tell me about your week and what's going on with you.
Well, it's Black History Month, so I'm exhausted. I don't know why it is that we always seem to end up some of us seem to end up working harder during Black History Month, and I'm like there just something just seems not right about that. But when you're getting all of this opportunities to come and to inspire others at this time, part of us is like, well, not just February, but we're available at other times of year. By all means, use us, pay us, but I will take it during February too. So it has been busy. I've had a lot of great shows. I had a lot of great performances since I saw you last. Um, we had our we this past weekend we had our big show Nyam, our Caribbean dinner and comedy show. It was amazing. We sold out
Yes,
twice, like meaning we sold out all the tickets. We had to go back to the venue to beg them for some just a few more tickets. Sold all of those out too. We had a great crowd, such an amazing vibe, and some really sweet performances. So if you want to look for that on Instagram, just to, well, you might catch some clips or whatever. The show was called Nyam, Nyam,
love
and you
that.
can see some feedback about it on my comedy Instagram site, which is Funny Bishness, FUNNYBISHNESS, Funny Bishness on Instagram, and also Roma Spencer, Lady Day, Cliff Knight, and Chinese Dillon.
Whoa, wait,
Great
you had the lineup, sis.
Oh, it was sweet. So that was Saturday. And then Sunday, we had our monthly tea party. So it's our second in our series of Sunday tea. So we need to talk about the tea. Can I give you the tea about the tea?
Give me the tea about the tea.
So we had a new tea vendor. So we're trying to use different people and feature different vendors every time we have this event. So this was our first time having a tea company called Pouret Tea, Pouret tea,
Mm-hmm.
Pouret Tea,
Mhm.
because
Okay.
the tea is the brainchild of a husband and wife duo, and the wife Tracy J is a poet. So her and her husband Alfred, they combine the essence of the poetry with the tea.
Right.
So
Oh, I like that.
at first I was like, because it's herbal tea, right? It's herbal tea. Hey, Nina Bina. Um, that is Zoena Gray. Um, Zoena Gray. Yeah, they have 6 teas and they're all herbal tea. And I'm like, herbal tea, sometimes it's a little bit underwhelming,
Right.
because you can't have like cream and sugar and those things. Like sometimes herbal tea is just so healthy, you know, but it's healthy, but sometimes underwhelming. Well, I learned a few things at this tea. I went to try a cup of tea. So everybody got to try one of all 6 of the flavors. And I started with one that was called Boost. Oh my gosh. I have never had such flavorful herbal tea.
Really?
Like when you hold it, before it even got to my mouth, the smell went in my nose. And it's like I tasted it with all of the fullness of the flavor before it even got to my mouth. I was
Wow.
like, what is this? And both of them are from Grenada.
Hmm.
And so the herbs are naturally sourced and from their heritage, from our culture, oh, it was so good. Like it went in my mouth. No sugar was necessary at all. The teas were all so delicious. So I really want to recommend that if you have an opportunity to try and buy pour it teas, you should, because it they really blew my mind. The tea was so so
Well,
so
what's the website? Do tell, do tell.
Pouretteas, pour teas, and you can find them on Instagram and then subsequently link to their website where you can buy the teas. The prices were entirely reasonable. and the flavors were entirely amazing. So perhaps when we finish the show, I'll also put their information in the comments so that you can, so that everybody can find them. But yes, they blew my mind. And Tracy J performed poetry for us as well, which just further exemplified the amazingness of the experience. We had a lot of great people come out and try and buy great frames. This week was also interesting with the frames because I found that the energy of the people that came was like a little bit more lit, right? Some people, they come to buy frames and they're a little more practical, which is fine. Practical is fine, but these people that came this week, they were totally lit. Like, they were literally saying, show me the dopest frames, the craziest frames, the biggest frames with the brightest colors and things like that. So we got to have a lot of fun with those frames. So that's what my weekend was like. So while I have the floor, because any minute now Keisha is going to be back and she's going to try to reel me in, I just want to quickly run through some of the events that we're going to be having coming up in the next week. Oh, she's back.
It's very windy. I just heard like a gust of wind, and so
Did the wind blow you away?
I mean, the hot gal version of myself, obviously, yes, yes,
Okay, well, let me just finish up with these. Let me just finish up with these people.
yeah.
So I'm going to talk about all of the events that we have coming up, but I would like, Keisha, if you could pull up March 17th, just to let you know that the next Sunday tea that we're going to be having is on Sunday, March the 17th. So we're going to be back with more tea, more frames, more great times at our shopping and social, and you can get your
Ooh,
tickets at cupsandglasses.ca. That's going to be here in Toronto, in Scarborough, at the Scarpod Studio. That's at the corner of Brimley and Shepherd. You can find all the details that you need at cupsandglasses.ca. And so we hope that we'll get some of you to come out and experience this wonderful, intimate shopping, tea loving. Oh, and the treats. Okay, you can take it down now. The
okay,
pastries,
okay.
we had pastries courtesy of, I believe they're called Sunrise Pastry, beside the Roti Hut in Scarborough.
Ooh,
She made
yes.
us a tray. Amazing. I mean, I just walked in there and said, I'm having a tea on Sunday, looking for some nice Caribbean baked goods. Could you, do up a little something for you? And she was an auntie. Auntie was like, I got you.
I
Why I
got
say
you.
she's an auntie is because when I told her my name, she said, Oh, that is my niece's name. I said, Well, you must be my auntie then.
Oh,
And
hey, hey.
when I went to go pick it up, Auntie made an entire tray of plenty of pine tarts, cut up
Oh, I
sweetbread, fresh Solara, right? Sugar cake. She had the sugar cake and she had fresh baked cookies too. It was delicious,
wow.
so we had quite the time at Sunday tea. So everything we had: frames, food, fun, and tea.
That sounds like an amazing time was had by all.
It was.
All.
It definitely was. Right.
So
So all this anti talk, it's really putting me in the mood for the theme of the night.
it is for me too, because as many of you know, I generally broadcast from Detroit, but I've been home in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the last couple of weeks, and it's it's definitely anti-culture here. It's definitely anti-culture here, and it feels really good because it's such a normalized part of our culture. So when we were talking earlier about the research for this podcast, that's the first thing that came up for me.
Oh, I should specify, because the word anti is a bit of a homonym, right? So I don't want people to think when we say that it's anti culture that it's anti culture. We're saying
Yeah,
that it's a culture of loving and respecting your aunties,
your
not
aunties.
anti culture.
So that's the thing about the word. It's like it's auntie, auntie, um, yeah, auntie, auntie, tanty, all
Auntie,
versions of this.
Benny.
Yeah, right. So wait, So do we have that clip about the origins of this word?
Do we have it? Well, if you have it on your screen, you can share your screen, and then you could play it.
Okay, well let's keep talking about that. So
Right.
when you hear the word tanty, what comes to mind for you, or
Well,
auntie?
when I hear the word auntie or tanty, I think it makes me feel it's a very safe word. Like it's somebody who I can trust, and more importantly, it's somebody who has authority over my mother. That's what I think about when I think of auntie. And before you play the video that we're going to talk about, I really want to impress upon our listeners that you're going to see a lot of information in social media, and it needs to be fact checked many times, and it needs to have clear boundaries. So many times I find people get on social media and they say, this is the origins of the word, and this is how it's used, and this is what it means. But to understand that the origins of the word are not always where you think they started, especially because um, many of us, we didn't start with slavery, we didn't start with English, and we didn't all start in America, so there's many different variations on an idea that you can have. That's so when you see it on social media, it does not mean that we're trying to teach you, that this is the reality, or argue that this is something that should be held over your own experience. So that was kind of what I took from this video that we're hopefully going to see. Are you able to pull it up? Are you thinking very deeply? Fortunately, I am not able to pull up anything on my side because she is the host. The video that she showed me earlier was about, it was a social media video, and it's about how the word auntie has, sometimes a negative connotation, in that because of how it was used during slavery and in Jim Crow, in the times after slavery, in African American culture. I was surprised because I had not heard of this before. See, the wind has blown Kija away again. Yeah, I was surprised because I had not heard of this connotation of the use of the word auntie, because I'm of a different culture, and I'm sure many of us are too. So let's see. Hopefully she can get back online. Hey, my phone's ringing. Why don't I take this call? Hello. Good. Just sitting here by myself on the on the podcast while I think the wind has blown Nichelle away. It's a windy night in St. Vincent. No, you think, right? Because it keeps going off and on, but yet she's gone and I'm here by myself on her podcast. Talking on the phone with you, of course. Hey, Lady Day. Oh, well, obviously, well, I will call you right after I finish whatever it is that she has left me here doing. All right. Goodbye. Hi, Lisa. And hi, Tay Lads. I'm just greeting everybody that's come. Lisa, you say that Auntie is respectful in your family. Mine too. Mine too. So maybe you are also not familiar with the history of negativity that they say exists around the word auntie. Keisha, were we able to get the video up? If not, maybe we can just summarize it.
Well, it's in our WhatsApp chat from earlier, and maybe if you can pull that up, you can go back to in our chat. The link is there.
Oh, I don't think I have screen sharing capacity, but I can look
Okay. Yeah, if not, we
while
can
we're
summarize.
talking.
And
I will
hey,
look.
Lisa, I need to say I didn't have an opportunity to wish you a big happy birthday, and so I want to take the time to wish you a big happy birthday, Lisa. because you know how I am about birthdays, and that's Lisa's one of those people that I call every year. So I was kind of like in transition this year, not being settled, and so I just wanted to wish you a big happy birthday and say good evening to Tay Lads, who's on line tonight, and also Zoina. So yay,
Yay. Yay indeed.
yay.
Okay. So let's see. Do I have the capacity to share screen? Let's
Yes,
see.
you should.
Hmm.
Hmm. And yeah, so while we're doing that, we will summarize. So there's a woman on Instagram. Her name is Auntie Bev. And
Yes.
do you have the capacity to?
You keep talking about Auntie Bev. I'm going to keep working on
So,
this.
so Auntie Bev was did a little reel, and she was talking about how when she started her Instagram channel, um, it was there were a lot of people who reached out to her and said that, hey, Auntie was a term that was created back as a colonial holdover to describe women who were beyond their prime, who were no longer useful in terms of, um, you know, whether it be in the fields or whether it be in the house, they were just not useful. So you called them auntie as a sort of negative thing to make them invisible and to make them appear,
I think I got it.
and so,
See it?
oh yay, I'll hit it. Here
Can
goes.
you see it?
They thought I was feeding into the negative stereotype about older Black women. It is true. Auntie was considered a derogatory word during slavery and Jim Crow. Whites referred to older Black women they saw as outliving their prime and having a diminished capacity as auntie, as opposed to referring them formally as Miss or Mrs. So and so. But the word auntie, in my opinion, has become a term of endearment by the Black community. I love being called auntie. I want to be everybody's auntie. But yes, the roots of that word were embedded in slavery. So, what do you think? Do you see the word auntie as a term of endearment? Or do you think we're just feeding into the stereotype? Take the poll and let me know. Auntie Bev speaks during Black History Month.
Yeah, so that's the conversation, right? And I didn't know that it was a holdover. I never had heard that, and so when we talk about auntie culture, that was fascinating to learn, and I would love to do more research because one of the things about this here worldwide internet web superhighway is that there's a lot of information, right? And
Mhm.
so finding out the roots of things. Once I hear information like that, my instinct now is to like go research that, go find out more. It's a term of endearment for me always, and Elisa says that.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, definitely.
I thought of it kind of it brought back for me what I call my gunpowder theory, right? That something can just be something, but somebody will use it for good and somebody will use it for evil. So I learned that it's true that auntie was used for women in much of the same way that, say, boy was used for men. It was used by enslavers to try to diminish or negate Black women. But that's because that's what they used it for, doesn't mean that's what we have to use it for. They don't get to define our culture, they can only define their own. So with gunpowder, some cultures, they will use it to make fireworks that are beautiful for everybody, but some people will use it to create weapons to kill everybody. Same substance, different outcome depending on who
Absolutely,
uses it. So
absolutely.
I feel like Auntie, they may have used it as a negative, but for us, for me, for my culture, it's always been a positive.
Absolutely. So yeah, I really appreciate that. And obviously we were effective with that because I was today years old when I'd heard that theory. I was today years old. Um, my kids were both here and just recently left. And one of the things, I would say that I'm
Your wind is blowing again. Yeah, auntie, it's really used as a term of respect in our family, in both of our family. In fact, it's respect with closeness. I don't know if this is the case for everybody else, but when we were growing up, if it was somebody who was like family, it could be your real auntie, or it could be somebody who is like, you're like a sister, or like a auntie, and you would call them auntie. If you didn't know them that well, that you would call them miss. But you never called adults by their first name when I was growing up. You couldn't be like, "Hey, what's going on, Joan?" Like, no. Either it was Auntie Joan, or if you didn't know them that well, it was Miss Joan. If it was teachers at school, you called them Miss, but if it was a teacher that you were close to, you might call them Auntie. So Lisa says, Nichelle, surely you remember my auntie on the east side who I lived with for a time. A pillar of the community and leader for our family. Yes, that's true. And you know what I love about aunties is that aunties sometimes step in where our mothers may falter, because mothers work hard and they can't do it all, and they were never meant to do it all. I think about aunties that came and took me places, aunties that would dress me up and fix my hair. I never saw my mother hold a hot comb a day in my life, but somehow my hair used to get done, hot combed, laid, and all of that stuff when I was young, and they still insisted on doing that kind of stuff to me. As you can see, those days are long gone. But when I was growing up, the aunties were the ones that held the hot comb and made sure that we looked proper for church. And when I say the aunties had authority over mothers, sometimes aunties would come and moms would say no, and aunties would say yes, where our mom said no. Man, I was an auntie myself before I became a mother. And that is the one thing that I loved more than anything else about being an auntie, was letting my niece and nephew do things that their mother wouldn't let them do. Oh, are you back?
I should yeah, I should have stayed gone, I think, on that one.
Oops. I don't know who said that. Yeah. Fake news. Fake news.
Well, just know that that also happens on my end. I'm very fortunate to have four amazing nibblings. Did y'all know that was the term for the gender neutral term for nieces and nephews? Nibblings.
Well, that's an interesting way of using it. Now, I've heard it used meaning to apply to a non-binary child, but it does seem a lot better than saying nieces and nephews. If you have both, you just have a bunch of nibblings.
I have a bunch of nibblings, and you gave me a pile of nibblings, and I'm very grateful for that. So I am also that auntie for them, and I hope I am cool auntie. Every auntie wants to be a cool auntie. That's the
That is
thing,
not
or a stern.
true. That is not true. That every
I
auntie wants to be a cool auntie. You want to be a
I
cool
strive.
auntie.
I do want to be a cool auntie. No, sounds like a bit to eat. Nibblings, like it's siblings, which is sisters and brothers, and nibblings, which are nieces and nephews. So
Well, that could work because
that
when they're young and cute, you like to nibble on them when they're babies. You nibble on their faces and stuff like that. So that could be nibbling. Now that they're older, teenagers and in their 20s, they absolutely would not stand for that, though. They're not as
true.
cute anymore. Right. So when you think of aunties, what do you think of as an auntie style?
Oh well, I most of my aunties were existing like in my formative years, they were existing in the 80s. So they were like big glasses, like really big, too, most times big glasses, too big for their face. And it's funny
Classy.
because classy, I see classy. Yes. So that's what I think. I think those big, round, sort of bubbly glasses with the clear acetate. That's what I'm thinking about for aunties. What do you think, Kim?
Yeah. When I think of aunties, if I'm thinking aunties in the 70s and 80s, I think big glasses too, big and bold, because they'd come up for Caravana weekend and the summer holidays. And I always saw aunties as people who wore amazing bell bottoms and sometimes short shorts. And then my mom would say that the shorts were too shorts, but the aunties did not care. The
True.
aunties just
Very true.
wanted to have fun because they were on vacation. And it's funny to think of our mother was probably an auntie like that to somebody else, but she was a mother to us.
Right.
So,
I got the good fortune of seeing my auntie. Yesterday, I took the ferry over to Beckway, which, if I'm in St. Vincent, this is a trip that I'm going to do. You came with me to do it. My auntie, also my godmother, is Auntie Mattie, and I always go over and. Auntie Mattie's a little. She like we say, she's going down. Like she's getting
going on.
older. She's kind of going down, but she's funny and still funny. And when I went into the shop today, I thought about yesterday. I thought about her. I said to her, "Do you know who I am?" And she was like, "Mm-mm, no, I don't know who
Really?
you are." And I said, "Really?" She was like, "No, because I'm stupid. That's why I don't know who you are. I'm stupid." I was like,
Yeah, she's still spicy.
"She's
She is
spicy.
spicy.
Aunties are spicy.
Yes,
Aunties are spicy."
spicy. Yeah. You
And
know,
she still has it. At 89, she's spicy.
one of my favorite memories of our auntie in Beckway was when she came to Canada. I think
The
I'm trying
wedding.
to, did she come
It was for
for,
my
maybe she came for your wedding?
Yeah, she came for
I couldn't
my wedding.
remember the occasion, but I just remember that our mother was in a tizzy, like just everything was happening, and our mother was making a lot of noise about anything. And Auntie said, "Listen, shut up, just shut up." And
I
I
recall
was a
that.
fully formed adult, and I went, oh, I was like, "Can she do that?" But they
Of
were
course
like
she
two sisters fighting, and it was amazing to see, because to me it was just like us when we were kids, except they were grown-ups and they were bickering. And I loved it because it was just made, mothers can seem so over the, like just larger than life sometime, but aunties bring mothers down to earth.
That's right.
That's what
That's right.
I love. I
Yeah. I mean,
chose some anti fashion frames, some not anti fashion, but anti fashion for aunties. I chose some fashion frames to show tonight.
all right. And I love what Lisa said about classy, because
Yes.
that taps into this whole notion of the rich auntie, because one of our aunties is also what I call the rich auntie. Rich auntie is a term that really describes women who either by choice decided not to have children, and so they can spread like a lot of rich love on your kids. And I've been fortunate to have a rich auntie in my life who exposed me to finer things,
Yes.
ballet and fine foods and caviar. She's the ultimate, she's the quintessential rich auntie. So when you say classy, I think rich auntie. So let's
And
see those
it's so
frames.
funny when I think about rich auntie, the first time I heard this term, which I feel was fairly recently, like just the last couple of years, I started hearing about this rich auntie. I always felt like aunties, they may or may not have children of their own. Many times they don't. The auntie that's perceived to be the rich auntie, but aunties always come ready to shower nieces and nephews with stuff, because, and again, anytime they came here they always seemed to be on vacation. So rich aunties were the ones that you could go with them to the CN Tower, because you would never go if somebody was not visiting, and they would buy the pink popcorn that your mother would not let you have. right?
Exactly.
Would take you to Honest Ed's and they would let you buy a toy. That's what when aunties came to visit, you just knew. They always had a big purse and there was
Right.
always something good in that purse.
Can I just
So
say
it's
that
not
rich Auntie
classic.
Matthew, when she came to my wedding, she handed me 10 crisp $100 bills that had not been touched by anything but the mint. I was like, come through, Auntie. Okay. Hello. That's how you
Right. I
start a life.
strive to be that kind of auntie energy where I just show up and everybody's like, oh, yeah, it's about to go down.
That's
So,
right.
my first choice of auntie frame tonight is this wonderful gray and black square frame.
Oh,
This to
yes.
me is the kind that you were talking about in the 80s, the kind that would make great sunglasses with a nice scarf, as we
Hmm,
ride the ferry or made of the mist when we go to Niagara Falls. That's what these glasses say to me.
absolutely.
You know, complete and utter anti decadence.
Oh, yeah. That's the Auntie look.
Yes,
That's definitely the Auntie look. Hmm.
yes.
That's right.
You look
From
more
the 80s,
mature. Hmm.
more mature. Like you
I
got
like
some
these.
crisp hundreds. I like those too.
I do like these. Yes.
And I like
So
I love the tortoise. They're a play
it's
on
big.
the shape, but yeah, upgraded for a new millennia.
Yes. Now, of course, you compare these to the glasses that I have on today, I have on right now, and these are the smallest pair of glasses that I own. But I
Oh,
still felt that they had a kind of anti energy to them because
like the
the
don't
ant,
mess with me.
this is the ant that does not care what you think about her glasses. These glasses have a little, like, you know, metallic, and the color changes when you put your head up and down. They're very shiny, they're very tiny, and I have a matching lipstick, but tonight I'm wearing Rich Auntie lip
Me
bar lipstick.
too.
Of course you
Me
are.
too.
And mine is edged with another color from a local store, and that color is a purple gloss that's called model behavior. So I'm a
I
model
like.
behavior on the outside, but a Rich Auntie through to the core.
There you go. Love
There
that.
you go. So that's frame number one. Now, frame number two, so I'm going from biggest to smallest. Frame number two is a little smaller, but bold in shape. And that's these
Mm,
blue butterflies,
nice.
with a little edging here at the side. So I find these are a great pick because they have a very bold shape.
Oh yeah. Love that. Love that.
You could wear these to work, but unapologetically to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like these glasses, I think you wear them to work, but you definitely look like you have something to do after work. Like you're not working overtime when you have glasses like this. They might say, can you fill in a little extra time on the weekend? And you would say, no, I have plans. That's what these
Wow.
glasses say. I have plans.
I like those. I like the color in particular. I see you like, sometimes I will say this to aunties. Sometimes we're a little matchy matchy. So I could
Aunties are
see an
matchy
auntie.
matchy.
Oh, they were coming with the jacket, the denim dress, the denim shoes, and the denim purse with those glasses. When I talk about, and they were rocking that in the 80s, it was like
Yes, for sure.
stonewash everything. Yeah, so aunties
Don't
can be a
wash
little matchy.
everything. Yes, I
Stonewash
agree.
everything.
Yeah, aunties do tend to, yeah, they do tend to match. I'm going to remind you that in this day and age, we don't have to match everything because your glasses are a bit of a statement piece. They can stand on their own. But yes, aunties, if they could get the glasses to match the purse, to match the shoes, and sometimes to match the wig, it's going to be on. It is going to
Mm,
be on. All right. Number three is one that we like to call the pearl.
pearl. Love that.
Yes. This is an orange and purple ombre. So we go from orange at the top to
Mhm.
purple in the middle to a darker, clearish purple around the bottom. silver at the sides with a kick in the arms and orange at the tips. This is
I
a
love
very non-traditional brow line.
I like those. I love those actually.
These are so comfortable.
Oh yeah, that's giving auntie. That's
Yes.
giving auntie. That's giving auntie on a summer day when the kids are little and you've decided to walk them because you're brave all the way to the ice cream store and they only give you one napkin.
What? Okay, that last part I was not expecting.
They give every child under the age of 6 one napkin, but a double scoop of ice cream. Those
Right.
glasses are like now you have to walk home in the hot sun with 6 nibblings in those glasses and ice cream running down their arms. That's what
However,
that's giving.
I feel like the auntie would have a big matching purse and a roll of paper towel in the purse along with some corned beef sandwiches. This auntie would be prepared. That's what I think. But if she wasn't, she wouldn't even care because that's auntie. It's not about being responsible, it's about living in the moment. And that's what these glasses say. I live in the moment.
I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna pause my camera for a second, just for a little bit of a. But go ahead, talk.
What is happening?
Don't worry. I'm in a closet right now. So
Keep it in the closet. But are you going to miss the last pair of auntie glasses? She's gonna miss the last pair of auntie glasses.
no,
So
I'm gonna be here watching. So bye. I'll be watching off stage.
weird. Okay. So let me bring you to the last pair, which are another small pair, but not quite as small as the ones that I've got on, but still small and exceptionally cute. I think these are library chic, and these are a nice orange and gold metal. This is a metal pair. Now, people sometimes they sleep on metal, but these
I like.
these are light metal with a lot of reflection, small enough to fit in my hand. It's not even from my wrist to my fingertip, it's even smaller than that. So these are cute and they just make a statement. They just sit comfortably on the nose, just like so.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yes,
I love those.
these are very Shirley.
Very Shirley.
Yes,
I like
very.
those.
Yes, these say Shirley Chisholm all the way. Although I would wear this kind of glasses with a big, chunky orange turtleneck and a brown blazer, long leather skirt, tall boots. That kind of flex.
Oh, definitely that kind of flex. Definitely that kind of flex. And so when I think of those glasses, I think about the time when our grandmother came up in the late 60s, early 70s to go to Niagara Falls with our family. And she was rocking those glasses. Those are the frames, those kind of frames that she rocked. And so, yeah, you're bringing that. I love that.
Let's take it back to the old school. So those are my anti-fashion, what it means to bring that auntie energy. That's what those say. Those were my picks for
Nice.
tonight. Yes.
Very nice. So yeah, I want to give a huge shout out this evening to I don't have a picture of her, but I will uh, to my sister girl best friend who I'm hanging out with on this trip, and everybody refers to her like my kids were saying to them it was absolutely hilarious that no matter where she went in this whole entire country, everybody was like, Auntie Allie, Auntie Allie, Auntie Allie. Everybody calls this woman Auntie Allie. You don't have to be chick nor child of hers. You belong to Auntie Allie. And so that to me is part of culture. It's part of the love. When you hear the term auntie and, my sister girl, Auntie Allie, it's like she could be at a red light and it's Auntie Allie. That's the love. And I want to sort of close tonight's show by just talking about how much that term has meant and continues to mean. So,
Mhm. And I think we
I
should
want to leave
embrace
that
it.
with us.
I think we should embrace it because many times people say, oh, they don't like to be called auntie because it makes them feel that they're getting old. I have a joke about going out to the club and, feeling like I was looking all hot. And when I started dancing, some young person went, "You go, auntie." And I was like, what? But we should embrace it, because
Let's go.
of us getting any younger. Straight up. We look good, we feel good, and
Right.
if we're an auntie, I think that means we're doing good. We're doing good for the world, for the culture, for the people. Embrace your auntiedom. So what we can do now is we still have the events that are taking place in the next week to go through. We can go through those events and we can also review the 4 frames that we felt bring auntie energy for the night.
Hey. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to close it up. I'm going to have to make a move, but just wanted to say thank you for joining us tonight.
So I won't be able to go through the events
Can you
of
hear
the
me?
week because I can't do them on my end.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Let's keep going.
Okay, so
Go
let's pull
ahead.
them up and I'll do it quickly since you're in such an all-fired hurry.
No, I'm just losing my signal, so I had to run out of my closet. Okay,
Okay.
so here it goes.
All right. So tomorrow, Wednesday, February the 28th, we have Dead with Laugh comedy show on the Danforth at the Comedy Bar. And you can find more information about that on the Comedy Bar website. So that is tomorrow, Wednesday. What's next? Kija, you have to change the slide.
Yes. What's next?
Whatever is next in the line, just pick one, please.
There you go.
All right. So this is jumping forward into the next month, March. We have a lot going on in March. This is March the 15th. We're having our Friday night open mic at Laz. We had it in February and it was an absolute ton of fun. I hope you'll come back out again or come for the first time if you missed it. Friday night open mic, and you can get tickets for that at comedylicious.com. Next, we have Black Marriage Day on Sunday, the 24th of March, and this is an actual thing. People keep asking me if I'm making up Black Marriage Day. I'm not. I actually am not. This is really a thing. So you can come out and celebrate. We're celebrating Black marriage and its impact on families and community and the world. This is also happening at Laz Authentic Cuisine, and you can get your tickets for you and your honey at bit.ly/blackmary24. Our theme this year is 24 karat marriage. Next event. This is actually Monday and Tuesday of next week in Mississauga. We're going to be at the Power Up Youth Symposium. So Cups and Glasses will be there showcasing our frame. So if you're in the West End of Toronto and you want to come and check us out, we'll be there on the Monday, March the 4th, Monday, March the 4th, at the Power Up Symposium 2024. And you can find out more about that by searching for One Vision, One Voice. Finally, we have our Sunday tea. We talked about this earlier on March the 17th. It's a shopping and social where you can have some tea and snacks while you try on Fry Flames, touch them, feel them, try them on, take pictures, enjoy them. And then visit other vendors and hang with fun folks. Admission is only $10 to cover the cost of your refreshments, and it's an all-around good vibe. We had a great time last Sunday, and we're looking forward to seeing you on Sunday, the 17th of March. Thank you.
Well, there that is.
Yeah, there that is.
If you
Yeah.
only knew.
I don't know if we're going to be here next week. It really depends on what the weather and the connections have to offer, but we'll keep you posted because, we've got more great things to talk about in frames. So, to all the aunties and everybody else, I hope you have a great night.
Hey, Auntie. Good
Hey,
night.
auntie.